Balance in motherhood. That's something that I think we all would say we desire in 2020. Y'all, does it seem like this video is balanced? I confess like that to you guys. Like, you guys can hold me accountable. My theology of balance. Let's see. Kind of weird lighting. Are y'all gonna stay up? Stay. Hey faithful few, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name's Faith. I have this YouTube channel. Not sure how I feel about it. I don't know if I want to be a tuber, but I see that there's a need and I'm here to create a community of Christian mamas. So join our little community. Yeah. Okay, so I have this series that I've kind of put on hold because, well, I've been thinking about this video and I just constantly didn't feel like equipped to make this video. I was just insecure about making this video. So on my last Jesus for Mommies video, which if you don't know, these are videos that I make to try and encourage mamas of YouTube or the mamas on YouTube who are trying to get a break from their kids, trying to get a break from their busy lives. They open up their YouTube to watch another cleaning video and hopefully they find my video and get spiritual encouragement, which is a whole lot more fulfilling than just work harder and vacuum a little bit more, you know? We need Christian mommies on YouTube encouraging other mommies to seek Jesus and reminding each other to seek Jesus because it's just not there. Let's be real. If anybody needs Jesus the most, it's mommies. Anyway, all of that, that long preview to say, we're here today to talk about balance and motherhood. And that's something I've been really thinking about. So it was my last Jesus for Mommies video that I made, I think. And I asked y'all what you would love for me to talk about. And I think it was Ava Lewis, not for sure, but I love you, girl. You're awesome. You comment on all my videos and you're always so encouraging and I just thank the world of you. Anyway, I think it was Ava who asked about if I could talk about balance. And I was like, ooh, I'm like the worst person you could ask to talk about balance. I felt challenged to pray more about balance and like what that looks like. And so literally it's probably been like 6 or 7 months that I've just been like praying and meditating and seeking and reading about balance. And I still feel like I don't know everything that I want to know or feel like I have a huge grip on this concept of balance and motherhood and balance in the Christian walk. But I just want to get the conversation started. This isn't supposed to be me chatting at you, but you guys also feeding off and bouncing off of each other and me, and we all just talking down in the comments, okay? There we go. Balance and motherhood. That's something that I think we all would say we desire in 2020. Balancing the dishes and child number 2 going through their tantrum season and, you know, the diapers and housework and I don't know, parenting and marriage and like fitness and mental health because the lighting is so bad here. Just pretend I don't have a mustache of a light on my face right now. I don't know. We're just gonna have to live with this light right here. Okay, sorry, little man was coughing. Wow, the light, okay. You wanna chill out with mommy? Mommy's gonna talk to the camera like a crazy person. Okay, you sit right here. Mommy's gonna talk to the camera and you just look at me like you're judging me. Okay, y'all, does it seem like this video is balanced? Because I've totally got that concept down. So anyway, I've prayed a lot about it, sought the Lord on it a lot. And I feel like one of the biggest, okay, so let's just put it into perspective. The Christian life isn't balanced, you know? The Christian walk, following Jesus, taking the narrow path, what Christ has called us to is not balanced. You know what it is? It's sprinting toward Jesus. And so I think we have to like start from that mindset and that groundwork because the world is constantly telling us you need 30 minutes of perfect exercise every single day. And you also need to do 2 hours of cleaning. And you also need to have a perfect capsule wardrobe and da 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 da. And literally, if we're to follow everything that the world says, we don't have enough hours in the day. I think there's this funny meme that I've seen a few times, and it's like, I'm supposed to get 8 hours of sleep, an hour of exercise, 3 hours with friends, and it adds up to like 36 hours, and it's like not realistic. So I think that's like the perfect example of like what the world says is balance is not actually balance. We have to kind of shift our mindset to what does Jesus say is balance. And he says, I'm the way, I'm the truth, I am the life. He is our life source. He is our all in all. And so when we seek, oh gosh, this is so bothering me. I hope it's not bothering you guys. So when we seek that balance, when we feel so scattered brained, we have to remember that's not us being inadequate. That's life's brokenness. And the only way to get balanced is to cling to the cross, because Jesus is our anchor, you know? Don't totally over evaluate what I'm about to say, but like we don't necessarily see in scripture Jesus say like you need to have a super balanced lifestyle. In fact, we see in Ecclesiastes that there's a season for everything. There's a time to die, there's a time to live, or let's find that, or I'm gonna like not quote it right. For everything there's a season, a time for every activity under heaven, a time to be born and a time to die, a time to plant and a time to harvest, a time to kill and a time to heal, a time to tear down and a time to build up, a time to cry and a time to laugh, a time to grieve and a time to dance. Blah, 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 blah. Y'all get the picture, right? So we see in Ecclesiastes, as mothers, there's gonna be a time. Oh, does that kind of work? How do I get this? Oh! You guys, y'all are gonna hate me and never wanna watch one of my videos again. It's cool. Just tell me down in the comments how annoying I was with this light. Okay, I think I fixed the light. Maybe, possibly. You guys should see this contraption I got going on. Okay, so we see in Ecclesiastes that there's a time for everything. So like for moms, there's a time to potty train, and there's a time to go through teething, and there's a time to really let go of your child because you're going off to college and you've had your 18 years, you know, and then there's a time to become a grandmother and learn how to parent, but parent away, you know. There's a time for everything and there's a season for everything. And so I think having a balance in our lives is having a surrender with our lives and surrendering each season and not necessarily trying to micromanage, oh, am I doing what the world says is balanced, but rather, what does Jesus call me to do in this season? What am I called to? I think we're always called to faithfulness, but how can I be more faithful in this season? So Ecclesiastes, there's a time for everything. And then we see like the Proverbs 31 woman. Again, I don't want to like misquote. Who can find a virtuous and capable wife? She's more precious than rubies. So she brings him good and not harm all the days of her life. She finds wool and flax and busily spins it. She's like a merchant ship, bringing food from afar. She gets up before dawn to prepare breakfast for her household and plan the day's work for her servant girls. She goes to inspect a field and buys it. With her earnings, she plants a vineyard. She's energetic and strong, a hard worker. She makes sure her dealings are profitable. Her lamp burns late into the night. Her hands are busy spinning. Okay, so we see that like the Proverbs 31 woman is like hustling. She's doing whatever she can to bless her family and to bless her husband, and that looks different. Sometimes she's buying a field, sometimes she's spinning thread, sometimes she's bringing food from afar, sometimes she is making garments. Y'all get the picture. So we also see in Proverbs 31, it's not like she necessarily gets her 8 hours of sleep. And it's not like she's necessarily like going on a run every single day for 30 minutes. So we also get a different idea of what balance looks like there. We see that her lifestyle is focused on being a servant to her household. We see that she finds her balance in being a servant. And that is actually super not balanced in the world's view, because she's not getting enough sleep and she's, you know, being really selfless and she's, just serving her household. So that's also like a different idea of balance. Now on the flip side, we go to Psalm 46:10, which y'all definitely know this verse, but I'm still gonna look it up because I'm drawing a blank right now. So we see in Psalm 46:10 kind of, oh no, the pillow moved. So then we see in Psalm 46:10, be still and know that I am God. I will be honored by every nation. I'll be honored throughout the world. So we see that when we're troubled, when we're anxious, when we're in trouble, God calls us to be still. That's when the Proverbs 31 woman can chill and sit and kneel and pray, you know? So, sorry, I'm fixing his binky. The little man's still working on learning how to keep a binky in his mouth. Anyone else on that struggle train with me? We kind of see that, one, there's a season for everything, and there's a season to be a Proverbs 31 woman and be hustling and working and, you know, providing and, yeah, working really hard to be a servant to your family. And then we also see how there's a season for resting and sitting and trusting the Lord. And so the Bible doesn't necessarily say be both, but the Bible shows that there's a season for both those things. Then we look at like 2 Peter 3:17. I'm warning you ahead of time. Dear friends, be on guard so that you will not be carried away by the errors of this wicked people and lose your secure footing. Don't get carried away with what the world says about balance. Don't get carried away about the world says about beauty, about health, about organic foods. Get carried away with the cross and let that lead your life. And that will lead you through those things sometimes. But also, if we are constantly on our knees asking the Lord what this season is at, like what we need to be doing to faithfully serve and steward our lives in this season, then the Lord will lead us to whatever the balance looks like in our lives. So like, for example, this season of life for me is seeking rest and seeking refreshment. I've been called to that. So if you guys don't know, my husband and my son came down with whooping cough in August, and my husband literally almost died from that. Had to resuscitate him and everything. Then it was right after we moved. Also, my sister died. Then I welcomed this little guy into the world, little Set. 2 months later, 1 month later, yeah. And so now I'm just kind of trying to catch up on sleep. I'm trying to make sure my family and I all keep our sanity while we try and figure out a new normal and what our life is going to look like moving forward and not be defined. We have to kind of refuel ourselves because we've been spent and we're spending ourselves in new and different ways. And so that's what it looks like this season. But, you know, in a year, things might look very different. Heck, I might have another kid. Or a year from now, I'm going to be running after 2 kids. And so I might need to be in a season of hustling and moving and being selfless and not worrying about, you know, well, I'm a sweaty mess and I haven't showered in 3 months. You know, like, it's gonna look different for each season. And so that's what we have to pray about is, Lord, how can I steward what I have, where my family is, and seek the balance that you've called us to. So balance is individualized. Balance for you is going to look different than balance for Billy Bob Joe. And balance for me is going to look different than balance for my 2-month-old right here who really needs to be taking a nap. Dude, go to sleep. My second point would also be balance is seasonal. Like, totally going to look different now versus midway through this year versus December of next year. And then balance isn't actually balanced, because balance, biblical balance in your lifestyle and in your life and in your family is running after Jesus first and foremost, running forward to Jesus with your all in all, with your everything. And that's not balance. That's making him your number one, you know? Finally, my last little challenge for all of us, I'm trying to upload it right now. It should be up when y'all are watching this video, is I just uploaded a vlog from cleaning. I cleaned all day and undecorated Christmas stuff and scrubbed everything down. But it was the Sabbath, and I was really convicted the whole video. I mean, y'all will see it in the blog, like talking about like it's the Sabbath and I'm not resting and I'm cleaning. And that really got me thinking, like, balance as a Christian, the one thing that we do know that we like are definitely commanded to through all seasons of life is to take a Sabbath. Even God took a Sabbath, and it's a commandment. It's a very serious commandment. And we tend, as the church, we tend to like find excuses not to. And anyway, I'm very convicted to take a Sabbath, and that I didn't on Sunday. And I confess like that to you guys. Like, you guys can hold me accountable. As moms, we need to seek resting in the Lord, taking a Sabbath, taking a day to worship and enjoy the Lord and his blessings. And that will also help balance the rest of our week. You know, to focus on the Lord, to have him be our anchor, is to have all the balance we need. So I hope this is encouraging. I feel really challenged in like my theology of balance, and it's something that I'm going to continue praying about, and I might have more to add to it later. So check down in the comments. I might have added something, but yeah, I want to encourage you guys. I think so often when we're scrolling on Instagram or on Facebook, it seems like everybody's setting these awesome New Year's resolutions and they're going to have perfect balance and they're already perfect life and they're going to, they already seem to have it all together. And if only my life can be as perfect and as balanced and as just nice and neat as them, then maybe I would be happy, or maybe I would not be so tired, or wouldn't be so fat, or wouldn't be so whatever. And the truth is Jesus is the only balance. He is constantly 100% throwing that scale off kilter and saying, I am your number one. I am all you need. And so I hope that that hits home for you guys. If you feel run down, which mommyhood is gonna do that. If you feel empty, if you feel tired, if you feel fat, if you feel too skinny, if you feel ugly, if you feel like you can't even get time with the Lord, Jesus is all we need. And so cry out his name. We can always find time to say, Jesus, I need you. Jesus, meet me here. We can always have the ability to do that and cry out to him with our hearts. He puts everything into perspective. He balances everything because he is our everything. I hope this makes sense. I'd love to talk to you guys more about this in the comments. And I just really appreciate you guys and people like Ava who throw out ideas and get me really convicted and thinking and asking the Lord, like, what does balance look like for mommyhood? And learning through that process. It's sanctifying for me, and it's, anyway, I don't know if this is making sense. I'm kind of rambling. Thank you guys in advance for watching this video and talking with me and being my friends, being my YouTube buddies. Y'all are the faithful few, and I love y'all so much. So I'm gonna close out this video. Y'all are awesome. Stay faithful. I know Jesus is our anchor, girl. We're making it through one day at a time in this mommyhood adventure with Jesus as our anchor.